Welcome back to The Explainer. Today we're diving into what looks like a simple story of roadside justice. A righteous quest for vengeance. But as we're about to see, the second you start looking a little closer, the whole narrative just completely falls apart. And really, this whole story, it all pivots on this one single chilling threat. It's a statement from a man about to be executed that casts this long, dark shadow over everything that comes after. And it forces you to ask, who are the real monsters here? All right, so let's set the scene. Our story just explodes into action on this desolate road in the land of Barovia. A group of adventurers, led by a man of the cloth, spots the man who killed their friend. And for him, there aren't going to be any questions asked. It's all about retribution. So there he is, on the side of the road, Isaac Strosny, the very same man who executed their wizard companion not even 2 weeks ago. And without a single word, the party's cleric, a guy named Traxador, is just so consumed by this need for revenge that he just charges. And the assault is just immediate. It's overwhelming. Isaac gets slammed by this searing radiant energy, then fire, then a volley of arrows. Before he can even really put up a fight, a spell hits him and he's completely paralyzed, totally helpless. This all happens in a flash. It goes from one spell to an all-out beatdown in seconds. But just as the adventurers are closing in for the kill, boom, a fireball just erupts from the woods. The ranger, Urihorn, is thrown from his panther as the poor animal is just incinerated. In a heartbeat, the hunters have become the hunted. Now, I know what you're thinking. This is just chaos. And you're right. This moment of brutal, messy violence doesn't make any sense without some context. To understand why this cleric is so full of rage, we actually have to rewind just a few hours, to a moment where these exact same people were playing the part of heroes. Okay, so this party is just completely spent. They are running on empty, they've just barely escaped a manor haunted by spectral knights, and then they got attacked by murderous scarecrows in their own camp. They're exhausted, they're wounded, and they're just trying to make it to the only safe place they know. And just as the sun is coming up, they stumble onto something pretty grim. A bonfire, some kind of druidic ritual, and a prisoner who's about to be sacrificed. Now, as beat up as they are, they know they can't just walk away from this. They have to do something. What happens next is just this desperate, chaotic fight. The adventurers strike from the trees, and in all the confusion, the prisoner, Riven, actually breaks free. He morphs into this chimeric, cat-like creature, scrambles up a tree, and unleashes this devastating pillar of moonlight that just turns his captors to ash. He pretty much saved himself, with a little help from them. So, the fight's over, and they get a good look at this guy they just saved. And Riven is, well, he's a little strange. He's got greenish skin, little horns, and he is deeply suspicious of his rescuers. He agrees to travel with them, but not before he secretly plants one of his own hairs on a party member to use as a magical tracker. Yeah, this alliance is built on pretty much anything but trust. Okay, so let's jump back to that ambush. We're back on the roadside. The smell of burnt fur is in the air, and there's a paralyzed man at the cleric's feet. This is the exact moment where that simple story of good guys versus bad guys just completely unravels. So Traxador, the cleric, he's about to end it. He raises his weapon to deliver the killing blow to this helpless man, Isaac, and then a voice just cuts right through the silence. It's Riven, the guy they just rescued. He yells out, and he wants to know why. Why are they doing this? What could possibly justify this? And Traxador's reason? It's simple, right? He murdered our friend. Vengeance, plain and simple. Case closed. But just then, the magical paralysis holding Isaac in place just fizzles out. He can move. He can talk. And you better believe he has a very different story to tell. And Isaac's side of the story? Oh, it changes everything. He starts shouting that their friend, the wizard Valanir, he wasn't some innocent victim. Not at all. He says the wizard murdered a young gravedigger, confessed to being a spy for the Dark Lord Strahd, and then threatened the entire town with his master's wrath. What Isaac did wasn't murder, he says, it was a lawful execution. And just like that, the party's whole moral high ground just evaporates. Isaac tells them the town was attacked the very next day, just like the wizard threatened. And for the ranger Urihorn, this horrifying memory bubbles to the surface. He was warned that 2 of his own companions might be secret agents of Strahd. All of a sudden, Traxidor's holy quest for justice starts to look a whole lot like a petty personal vendetta. So now with Isaac's story just hanging in the air, everything's broken. The certainty's gone, there's this super tense, awkward truce, and the now fractured, deeply suspicious party keeps moving toward their only safe haven, the Wizards of Wine Winery. They're just hoping for some rest, and maybe some answers. When they get to the winery, they're greeted like heroes by the Mardukov family, who they've helped out before. There are hugs, there's food, there's praise, but the welcome isn't exactly universal. A couple members of the family are not happy to see them, not at all. And the reason for all the suspicion, well, it's pretty out there. See, while most of the family sees them as these saviors, 2 of the men, Dag and Adrian, they remember something very different. The last time they saw these adventurers, a couple of them were just casually carving flesh off of a rotting, severed head they had in their cart. I mean, that's not exactly a memory of heroism, is it? It's a deeply unsettling darkness that they have not forgotten. After they get some much-needed rest, the entire household gathers for a big celebratory dinner. And for a second, it almost feels like the tension from the day might finally start to fade. But in this world, the darkness is never really that far away. They're talking about all the political drama in a nearby town, debating who should be in charge. But Danica Mardukov, the innkeeper, she just cuts right through all of it with this one cold, hard fact. It doesn't matter who sits in the burgomaster's chair. Barovia has only one true ruler, the vampire lord Strahd. And her words just suck all the air out of the room. That cheerful, brightly lit atmosphere, gone. It's replaced by this heavy, oppressive silence as everyone, adventurer and winemaker alike, is forced to remember the bleak, inescapable reality they're all trapped in. And it's in that total, dead quiet with just the candlelight flickering, that's when someone notices something that shouldn't be possible, something absolutely terrifying. Urihorn, the halfling ranger who just lost his panther, the guy who's grappling with the idea that his friends might be traitors, he doesn't cast a shadow. And with that one simple observation, a whole new, horrifying chapter of questions just began.